Well, the forecast is no rain all week, so it's time to cut hay. So let's go ahead, get this old girl out, get her greased up and ready to go. You ever had one of those days where you know everything's probably gonna go wrong, and it will? Well, I've already had my first screw up. It's 100% my fault. So look at this trail that I left dragging in the gravel. And it's not the back of the hay bine or the hay mower. It's this. I left the jack down. I just pulled forward and I've bent this jack all the way up. I can't remember exactly how much one of those costs. I mean, it's probably like probably at least a $30 mistake. But yeah, I ruined that one. So luckily I've got a couple more that are like the same on some other equipment, so I can probably swap it out when I unhitch. Well, the pin will come out now. Well, of all the bonehead moves I've ever done, this one's not my worst. I need to start keeping like little trophies of everything I break, and then I can hang them up on the workshop wall. Like, oh yeah, remember the time I screwed that up? There it is. So the cylinder stop doesn't seem to stay in place. So I'm gonna put a hose clamp behind it to try to back it up, give it a little bit more staying power. This probably won't work. Somebody told me to buy some collars to bolt on here, and that's a good idea. I'll probably end up doing that. I think it's a stop collar, something like that. You put it on your hydraulic cylinders. All right, the old Hesston PT-10, it's all greased up, oiled up, aired up, and ready to go. So I think we'll go ahead and head out to the hayfield. It's already kind of late in the day. It's probably close to like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been busy all day this morning. We're doing a lot of cleaning, getting ready for Memorial Day weekend, and getting to cutting hay a little bit late today. So we'll get out there and hopefully everything goes well, but it hasn't started off good so far. That's my fault. And I think we're going to keep track of everything that needs fixed on this and start ordering a few parts. So first of all, need a jack, of course, just broke that. I need the stop collars to see if I can put on the lift cylinder. I need to see if I can get some of these sickle bar cutting blades, because I did have a little bit of trouble cutting clover last time. So we'll see what happens this time. And we'll keep track of anything else that needs repaired on this, and then hopefully we'll get that ordered and fix it before second cutting of hay this year. But let's head out to the field. This is definitely the biggest, or at least one of the biggest pieces of equipment I have. You gotta be careful pulling it or you'll run into something. It sticks out there pretty far. Oh, I am gonna get really close. Well, a little bit more room than I thought. Well, my entrance to the hayfield is a little tight. Apparently I need to trim some trees. Put that on the list of things to do. This is very tight. I only got like a foot or so on each side. It's pretty tight. There we go. So as we look at the hayfield, you can see all the yellow back there, that's butterweed mixed in. And you can see the orchard grass. All the orchard grass is going to seed out here. And the butterweed is definitely worse on that side of the field. This side actually doesn't look too bad. So the bales on this side aren't going to be bad at all. It's just going to be the bales on that half. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead, fire this thing up, get to cutting hay, and then we've got the next hay field to do after this one. All right, we're making our first pass. Trying something a little different today. I'm running the tractor at 1600 RPMs, lower RPM, and I'm running an economy PTO, which is actually Mark 750 on here, but we're running 550 PTO or 540 PTO at a lower RPM. So trying this out should be a way to, I don't need all 67 horsepower of the tractor, so it should be a way to save on a little bit of diesel fuel while we cut hay today. So let's keep our fingers crossed, hope everything runs well. Well, one thing I forgot to do was go around and look for sticks around the outside. We've got all these trees around this outside edge, and there's definitely sticks that have fallen down. These are all the branches that fell through winter. So definitely this first cutting should have done that. Who wants to have that in their hay, huh? That won't taste good. All right, the first hay field is cut, and I think it turned out pretty good, no problems whatsoever. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next. So this field here is mostly red clover, and we're starting to make our first pass here. You can kind of see how tall it is. I mean, it's a couple feet tall. And then mixed in with it, we have meadow fescue, that's what that is. And then there's some orchard grass mixed in. And I think there's some other stuff in there, but that's what I see right now. But we're gonna go ahead and get this one cut. Hopefully this will go pretty quick. I ended up, at the very end of the last field, I've sped up one gear, so I'm going a little bit faster. This field is long and narrow, so there's less turning. So this one cuts better. That last field turns into a triangle at the end, and it's just nothing but turns at the end. So hopefully this one will definitely cut faster than the last one. So let's go ahead and finish up. So this clover is way thicker than the orchard grass on the other side. The orchard grass, there was still some alfalfa in the other side, but this is just way more. So we'll see how it goes. I may want to slow down, but there's a lot here in this clover field. All right, we got both hay fields cut now, so that's good. So there's a lot here. I mean, this is pretty heavy stuff, all of this clover. There's just a lot of mass. So I told Rebecca as soon as I cut the hay, the weather forecast would change. So I pulled up the weather forecast, and tomorrow 2% chance, then 3% chance, then 0, 0, and 1. It is still basically no rain for the next 5 days. So that's amazing. Hopefully the weather stays that way. Now I definitely think there's more hay in this field than the other field. There just was way more grass and clover in this field. Now both fields are actually the same size acreage wise, but this one, the growth on it and the amount of stuff here is just, it's quite a bit more. So we'll wait and see how it dries down. It may dry down and not be quite as much because, you know, this clover, there's a lot of leaf on here. That'll probably shrink down quite a bit when it dries. But the only thing I have left now is I just got to go around the perimeter of both fields and get the edges cut, and I'm done. But at least the hay mower ran the whole time, cut the whole field, no breakdowns. The only thing I did notice was, of course, this one piece of metal sitting here flapping the whole time. Other than that, I don't know if I noticed anything broken at all, except for the few things we mentioned earlier. So that's good. I'm going to hope to get the time to do a few repairs to this before our second cutting of hay this year. And this time, I'm planning on not tedding the hay at all this time. The weather looks so good for so many days. I'm just going to let it sit here and dry. So it'll probably sit here for a couple days before we bale it. We'll just kind of keep our eye on it. But I'm going to try not to touch it at all until we rake it up and bale it. So we'll see how that goes. I've tedded hay every time I've cut hay, and it does affect the quality of the hay. It knocks the leaves off, and we'll see how it does without tedding this time. So trying a few things different. see how it goes. But I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.